let me into my zone. Please don't let me into my zone. 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 Please don't.
Oh, baby, we're back, and a little bit of a later upload today because, well, I was actually on live with Ivan on Tech a little bit earlier. Definitely go check it out. Really, really cool. I really enjoy speaking with Ivan. He's super, super intelligent and always has really good questions, and just a guy that you want to know. Anyways, so yeah, his channel is Ivan on Tech. You probably already know. If you're here, you probably already know, but in case you don't, there you go. Anyways, a lot to talk about on Bitcoin today. We have hit our more medium-term targets. In fact, I want to follow up on that from yesterday. So what is the next sort of trajectory that we're looking at? What does the low time and medium time frames look like now? Has this changed anything on the higher term time frames? It's going to be a little bit on the shorter side of a video, just because I talked about a lot of things long-term on his channel. So I'll just leave it there, as nothing's changed in the last hour. So fair enough. But there's plenty to talk about in the lower term time frames for this video today. Before we get into that, I do want to announce that the Krown trading application going to be ready in the next week and a half. The base function will be 100% free, and I'm really excited for that. But in the time being, if you already did have access to it, by being in the program, you'll notice that your access was probably taken away. We had to do that because we are essentially like destroying that to bring up the new one. And the new app's going to be ready for all available platforms. That means, Windows, that means Apple, iOS, that means Linux, whatever the fuck, browser you use, it's probably going to work there. So all good, man. Very, very excited for when that comes out, but still a little bit of ways away. In the meantime, we do have the indicator subscriptions now available. So the Jewel is back. The link is in the description of this video. There's 3 tiers. There's just one tier for the stochastics, and there's the second tier for the stochastics, RSI, and Fibonacci, and then we have the full-on Jewel plus all the other ones. And then it's also going to get you a little bit more features on the app when it's available. So with that said, I think it's time to, what else was there something else that I'll probably remember some a little bit later, man. Whatever the fuck. Oh, hey, Twitch streams. Yeah, we've been doing Twitch streams every day. I don't know if I'm going to do it today, actually, because I don't know if I'm going to do it today, because actually I want to go to a Brazilian steakhouse, which I may or may not do. I haven't decided yet, but I'll know probably at the end of this video, I imagine. So I'll decide by then by how hungry I am, by how much my stomach hates me, and move on from there. But yeah, the link to the Twitch channel is in the description of this video. That's where all the live streaming has been done, and it's a little bit less focused on Bitcoin and more focused on trading in general, and then of course gaming as well. So joining in the fun. Anyone's welcome, of course, but please do understand that it's not like the purpose of it is to not do the fucking shit coins, man. At the end of the day, man, my New Year's resolution is less shit coins, more fun. And more fun to me means, looking at Bitcoin, maybe some of the higher market cap coins as well. And perhaps there's some interesting ones in there as well. But for the most part, Bitcoin, Forex, traditional land, and commodities is where it's at. And then gaming as well. So with that said, let's get in a live stream right here. I'm going to initiate that teleportation. Boom. And I'll see you in there, baby. And there she is. Bitcoin on the daily. Once again, I want to follow up on the greater, on the greater picture here. We did see this ascending Brownian wedge get resolved to the upside. We have actually pretty much hit the full-on target of this, or we're getting very, 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 very close to the full-on target of this, which would be essentially in line with our long-term downtrend coming in all the way from our highs at 14,000 in June of the prior year, 2019. So looking at this right here, I do think that Bitcoin probably does make another formal stab up into this region, but I do believe that we're going to be looking at a short-term top relatively soon, anywhere between 8,500 and 8,700-ish region, very, 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 very likely. And let's now go down to the lower term timeframes. I promise we'll shape up the higher term timeframes a little bit later, but for now, focusing on the lower term timeframes. So I want to follow up from yesterday's video, because yesterday's video we were like back around 7,900. So we did get the pull, and I'm not in. This is going to sound like I'm being I don't know, tooting my own horn, like sucking my own dick over here, which I would love to do, but it's actually physically impossible. But no, the purpose of this is kind of like show the efficacy of of this over time. And it's not always going to work out this perfectly, man, but recently it's been pretty nice. Anyways, yesterday we were right around here. I said that we were likely to pull back down to about 7,750. 1150, and then as long as we bounce from there, I'd still be overall bullish. We had a phenomenal bounce. This is exactly what I was looking for. A nice bullish engulfing dildo on the lower term timeframes, and then fall through to our next target, which on the lower term timeframes was 8150-ish region right here, which did provide another short-term pullback, retested the prior high, boom, next target met. This happened a little bit faster than I would have anticipated, but that's why I give, or sorry, not that's why I give, Jesus Christ, it sounds so weird. That's why I talk about like relevant levels rather than like it's going to happen at this time, at this date, in exactly this hour. It's like that can't be done, at least in my opinion. So yeah, got those moves pretty damn well. If you did long the pullback right here, which I actually did on Twitch stream last night, and then ended up scalping it way too early, but you just wanted to focus on gaming during the time. Then I want to congratulate you. That was a phenomenal trade, and I do think that we're probably coming up to a short-term top relatively soon here. Now, the focus of this here, and I'm sure the biggest question is, do we test a little bit higher before having the inevitable consolidation lower, or do we actually bust through and not bust through? That'd be the first scenario. But do we fall down from here and consolidate, and maybe test like somewhere around 8150 and then try some upside from there? Well, I do think actually that it's a little bit more likely that we get another test back up somewhere around 8500. If things get really crazy, I'd look for 8700 to get hit. Maybe it's more like 8650. But overall, I do think that Bitcoin's going to be finding some resistance in this region. I don't have a strong opinion on this. Like I said, I think if I had put my money on it, I think that we would get another test up here, just one more time, and then probably come back down to low 8,000. And depending upon how we react there, that's going to be very insightful to whether we get continuation overall or not, which is looking more and more likely here, which I'll show a little bit later. But again, go to the long-term analysis playlist or Ivan on Tech's latest video, for a more deep dive into that. But looking at lower-term timeframes, we do see that the hourly jewel kind of lining up for a little bit of a sell signal coming off our top right here. So getting to move from about 8,500 all the way down to 8,250. Not bad for an hourly signal. We are also seeing historical volatility percentile get very, 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 very hot on the lower term timeframes, which tells me that we're probably nearing a low time frame top as well. Let's look at our 2 hour. It's redlining as well. What about 3 hour? Is still within the greater context of this ascending. No, we're still expanding, so fair enough. I'll lay off there. But we are seeing that the lower timeframes are getting pretty damn hot, which tells me that we are getting very, very close to a short-term timeframe top here. I'm curious if we have any sort of divergence plays to be had. We do see that 2 hour RSI is giving us some bearish divergence. I'm going to imagine that the hourly is definitely doing it as well. What about the 3 hourly? No, there's actually not going to be any bearish divergence present here. So if we do have, what that tells me though is that if we do have a pullback, it's probably only going to be a short-term thing. We actually probably do get picked up from there. The higher timeframes are not showing any divergence plays as it currently stands. So I do think that, again, to kind of wrap up my thoughts, probably get another spike up into this region somewhere around 85, and then probably come back down and see where we get picked up. Tentatively speaking, I do think that area of relevance would be somewhere right between about 8,100 and 8,150 to the T. Let me actually just put this in right there. Collapse this a little bit more, and we can keep tabs on this. So, somewhere in this blue box territory, I'd actually expect Bitcoin to get picked up once again. Now, if Bitcoin does start to break below 8,100 and start to close like 2 hour, 4 hour dildos below there, I would look for this to get a lot more nasty all the way back down to 7,800, and this is going to perhaps look like a massive rejection before setting up for a retest of the lower 7,000s. But I don't believe that that's what's happening right now. I do still believe that short term, medium term, Bitcoin's actually bullish here and probably gets another test higher. We do have obviously the 4 hour golden cross, which we spoke about yesterday. That's one of the reasons why I was looking for a long somewhere right around this region, at 7750-ish region. And typically speaking, 4 hour golden cross, which I'm talking about the 50 and the 200 right here, that's the green and the purple, does get a lot of play in Bitcoin land. It's led to some pretty phenomenal rallies, even in counter trend markets, like our last downwards market in 2018. All of the golden crosses here netted some pretty massive gains, even like not trading it perfectly. We had, for example, we had this guy right here, which was from signal given to next high, about 20% move. We had this guy right here from signal given to next major high, was about 28% move. No signals. Well, actually, even this one right here, this one right here actually providing about a 12.5% move. And this is during a bearish market, so you're getting like you're getting a technically like a bad signal. Technically a signal that's contrary to the overall trend, but still getting some pretty massive moves. And same thing over here. Long-term trend is still down, of course. But from signal given to where we are right now, how much have we gotten? About 13%. So I do think that it's relevant to think that we probably do test a little bit more. Not only that, but I always, I've been coming back to this quite a bit here, and I spoke about this at length on Ivan's channel. So I won't talk about it too much. I won't talk about R squared, but we do see a strong correlation between traditional markets and Bitcoin, and also gold to a lesser extent, contrary to what a lot of people think. But looking at this right here, we do see that Bitcoin and gold are actually positively correlated, and actually the correlation is increasing. It's actually quite strong. And if we were to look at the R squared, which I guess we can just look at right now, it's much higher than what it would be with gold, especially on a higher time frame like this. It's extremely high, actually, 0.67. So to me, that says that with a very strong traditional market, that likely bodes well for Bitcoin. Traditional markets had a massive descending, or it's actually not descending Brownian wedge, but it was a reaccumulation formation right here before this massive liftoff. And we do see that in the past. If we were to overlay like a Bitcoin chart with this, like the BLX index, you can see that typically the kind of like the trend has been let's just do this really quick right here. I don't want to talk too much about this. Jesus Christ, man. Why did I get into this? Shouldn't have even mentioned it. We see oh my God. Okay, hold on. Fuck it. You already know. Okay, so the darker blue is SPY, the lighter blue is Bitcoin. And you do see that historically, on the macro, Bitcoin likes to top out first more often than not. And then, and they kind of bottom usually around the same time, usually traditional markets like a week before. And then traditional markets will be making new highs and then drag Bitcoin on, a few months later to like a year later. So we have the example right here. We have the example right here. And more recently, we do see that Bitcoin tops out a little bit sooner, then they bottom around the same time. And then SPY is making new all-time highs, months ago. And does Bitcoin follow on the whole? I would say that that's certainly more on the bullish side. Kind of talking about biases one more time. So going over here to gold, we see the same sort of thing, not the same sort of trend in that essence, but we do see that the correlation coefficient is showing that we do have a positive correlation, albeit not that strong. But with gold doing the same sort of thing does make me think that Bitcoin probably does get a little bit of lift off here. And if we put back on all of these major moving averages, and if I can just make sure that I'm actually recording and everything's working, okay, that's great. We can see that, gold had a very similar formation here. It had a nice ascending channel, gets resolved to the upside. By the way, we did hit our first targeted area on gold at 1611. I don't have a strong opinion if it gets another stab up to like 1630, but I do think that we find a nice short-term, medium-term top here. And then longer term, probably give another try higher. Maybe next leg is up to like 1750, 1800-ish region longer term, but that's, months and months away, most likely. I think that this bodes well for Bitcoin overall. And, if we do something like this, that's going to be marked by Bitcoin breaking its ascending channel, which is currently coming in right here, right around the upper 8,000s region, which is officially like 8,600 to 8,700, which you can see is like right around our blue box territory, also directly in line with, again, our long-term downtrend coming in from our highs at 14,000, and also directly in line with our measured move from this ascending Brownian wedge coming off the lows right here. So a lot of things lining up for that, and I do think that we get a test up there. If Bitcoin can actually close above there, especially on a daily or preferably a higher time frame than that, then I would look for, at the very least, test of the 200 simple here, which is at about 92.50. And if Bitcoin actually does overtake that and starts to open and close daily dilts above there, that's when we likely actually flip around the weekly trend. So understand the avalanche of effects. Bitcoin is still technically not on a macro uptrend just yet, but things are looking better here, especially if we can close the weekly above the 21. It's gonna look pretty good. But still, until we actually fully and formally close a higher high above our last high at 9,500, we don't have a reversal of trend confirmed. So it's still a little bit ways to go. But hey, if Bitcoin is going to reverse the trend, it does look like this would be a good time to do it. Speaking about just the other correlated assets and also Bitcoin, short-term, medium-term bullishness that it's showing right now. So let's actually go back down to the daily. We do see that daily momentum oscillator still pointed north. Daily Stokes were the key. They turned around a few days ago on January 3rd. That's when we called it right in over here, in line with that breakout of, I believe it was 73.50 or maybe 74.50 to the upside. And we are having a change of behavior, getting it well above the area that we've been rejected by ever since September breakdown, which was essentially when Bitcoin's trend actually fully and formally changed, coming off this last major run. run, on the break of about 10.3 right here, which is where we got bearish. So, that is significant. Not only that, but daily RSI getting back to the bullish control zone for the first time since literally June, which Bitcoin again was all the way up here at like 14,000, deep in the 5 digits. So looking pretty damn good there. And of course, just to show the efficacy of the jewel once again, this is not a perfect buy signal, but when you do see a signal like this, probably going to play out anyways. I know a lot of people say, Krown, aren't you hindsight trading with the jewel? It's like, no, if you get a fucking daily jewel buy signal, you could trade it like 2 days fucking after and still have a massive move. But anyways, I don't even want to fucking upsell that. Jesus Christ. it's like people who aren't even interested in it to begin with will say it's like silly things like that. It's like, okay, just wait. I'm happy to put it to the test, man. It's not perfect. It ain't no magic pill. And that's what I forgot to say about the jewel. If you're looking at those indicators as a magic pill, they ain't. If you aren't already consistently profitable, it's probably something to do with your risk or position management. And the jewel, it can only help so much. It's not going to do your risk management for you. Fair enough. Just laying it too straight. It's like, what the fuck was I just doing there? Was I downwards talking to you? Jesus Christ, shoot me. Anyways, things, more or less looking good here. 2-day Stokes doing the same sort of thing. Having that snake around the other day, as we said, was a big deal. 2-day RSI is potentially, well, no, it's actually fine right here. Looking okay. A 2-day jewel actually kind of giving you a continuation buy as well right here. Let's see, what is a 3-day looking like? 3 days not giving us anything, but we do see that, hey, stop. There we go. We do see that 3-day RSI is looking more and more healthy. Looks like an actual low there. 3-day Stokes getting back above the same area that we've just been allergic to since, again, July, essentially. So we are seeing change in behavior here, and that's why I do say that if Bitcoin is going to reverse the trend, this is likely where it comes from. Any sort of a weekly digital close above the 21, which is at 81.80 right now, I would say likely puts the odds on the favor of an actual breakout. Yeah, going back on over here to our probabilities with regards to historical volatility percentile, we do see that the top side of the first deviation, which if we go to on a daily, or actually let's go to it on a weekly. Or no, let's go to a daily for the end of the week, actually. Let's do something like this. This is going to be kind of cool. So what? We're on Wednesday. So we got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 4 days, okay? So we'll put in 4 days right there. And let's see what it says. Top side of the first deviation is coming in right around the top side of our major resistance. The bottom side of the first deviation is actually coming in right around 7,900. So the odds are in the favor of the bulls here. It's just more likely that we actually do, or we at least test the top side of that resistance. And, it's still saying it's about less than 60% chance likely to actually break out this week. I'm not looking for a breakout this week, but I do think that a close above about 8,200 this week would really start to, you could just kind of imagine this for the next week after that. It's going to start to expand this a little bit more to the upside, and that means that the probability of it actually getting above there is going to be, increased because, well, it's well within the first deviation. So right now it's a little bit outside, so it's a little bit less than 60%, blah, 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 blah. You already fucking know. All right, great. Anyways, if I could just ruin your ears a little bit more. Sorry, my raspy lesbian voice is deep inside and tonguing you down right now as I slurp on this fucking microphone, this BBC-sized dildo in front of my face. Anyways, looking at the 12-hour, we took over the 200 simple. Nicely done, Bitcoin. And again, I would be looking for some sort of a base in the lower 8,000s if we do have a pullback from this region, which I actually think is kind of likely after another attempt to the upside. What else do we want to talk about? Are we already, oh my God, we're already 17 minutes in here. Jesus Christ, man, I said that this video is going to be shorter and it's not. It's already not. Motherfucker, man. I do apologize. Anyways, let's go check out, what else do we want to check out? I just lost my train of thought. Let's see. What about lower term time frame oscillators? We see 4-hour Stokes still headed up, but they're getting very tired. 3-hour Stokes still headed up, but they're getting very tired. 2-hour Stokes very tired. And the second that you see this trend line here broken, problems. What about the hourly? Hourly, same sort of a thing, but probably comes all the way back down here, I'd imagine. So yeah, that likely lines up with another try. I'd say another try here, and then a downwards consolidation, perhaps. Tentatively speaking, I'd be looking maybe somewhere around like 8150-ish region, and I'd probably be looking for a bounce there. That also means if we close below this this highlighted area, like 8050-ish on even like a lower time frame, like a 2-hour, 4-hour, I would be looking for a return back down to like 7700, 7800-ish region, and it's going to look like a massive fake out, but I don't really believe that that's what's happening right now. I do think it would be like a short-term pullback and then another try higher. most likely. So yeah, just understand where all the major pivots on the market are. We're kind of, we're not just kind of nearing, we like are basically in the highlighted area right here for that proverbial target. In fact, this is not even right. It should be more like this because my main chart's on my stamp. So we can do it like this. There we go. For BitMexico, as I'm currently on this one. So I like to float around them quite a bit. Or sorry, I'm actually on stamp. So yes, this is right. Anyways, so looking at this right here, yeah, Bitcoin actually can overtake this region, this ascending channel. We actually would have the measure move quite significantly higher. I could probably eyeball it to maybe like 12,500 if I had to guess. And yeah, it would actually be directly around 12,500 if we do technically overtake this ascending trend line. However, I would say I would really exercise caution here. Just because we get like a daily little close above this descending channel, I do think that I'd really want to see like a weekly dildo close above 9,500. Then yes, I'd feel very comfortable targeting move up towards like 12,000, 12,500. You'll notice that that's pretty much in this. We can make like a nice order block in here and kind of highlight this area out if that were to happen, and that's when things actually really start to look a lot like gold. In fact, because we're going to really be resolving this falling channel to the upside. And at that point on a weekly schedule, we're really going to look like this is, we actually have new highs, and that's when getting back up to these crazy numbers like, 15,000, 16,000 actually look like a potential, not potential, but a likelihood. But, that's way far away. That's also, it'd also be overtaking the 618 Fibonacci retracement here. So we got a lot of work to do still, first and foremost. What I do want to say to kind of like titrate back the excitement in this market is that until it's done, it ain't fucking done, man. And while things do look good right now, I would be very cognizant of this. Or sorry, actually, before we get to that point, I do want to talk about this on the 2-day. This is also really fucking bullish right here, to be fair. If Bitcoin closes anywhere above 8150, and anywhere above 8150 today, and yes, we will be closing this 2-day dildo later tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern time. This is going to look pretty damn good. So we were in danger of getting a death cross, as of last week. It was still going to take like a couple weeks, right? But with this price action right here, this is a clear and obvious fake out. So if we close above here, it'll further solidify that and provides a nice base again in the lower 8,000s, like 8150 to 8150 to 8100 region, and I'd be looking for that to probably be retested and then sometime next week, and then probably exceeded after that. Looks pretty damn good is what I'm trying to get off. Anyways, okay, so yes, why am I not as excited as some other ones? Well, we do have a very similar setup over here to what we have over here and many other times in Bitcoin's past, where basically Bitcoin gets wrangled by the 200 simple, this white moving average right here, rejected once, rejected twice, boom, down, gets a death cross right here, green and purple, gets all lower periods below higher periods right here with the cyan and purple, and then gets below all major moving averages right here. It's trending as long as below the yellow 21 exponential moving average, and then once we regain the 21 exponential moving average, well, we actually do mount a very nice bull run, or not bull run here, but a very nice rally attempt, a very nice rally attempt. In fact, from prior low to next high, about 40% up. But where do we get rejected at? The 200 simple, which now has a negative slope as well. Not only that, where else do we get rejected from? We get rejected from this. Oh no, I already have it in there. We get rejected from the long-term downtrend coming in all the way from here as well. Looks quite familiar, doesn't it? We get rejected by the 200 simple right here on this attempt above 9,000 on the China news or whatever the fuck it was. We get the death cross right here, green and purple. We get all lower periods below higher periods right here. We get all negative slopes soon after that. Bitcoin is trending as long as we're below the 21 the whole way through. We regain the 21 right here. Boom, massive rally attempt. Whereas the 200 simple looming right at 9250-ish region, which you can see is going to be pretty much in line with this long-term downtrend relatively soon, the longer that we kind of, start to step around this region, like my stupid fucking voice sometimes. So what I would say about this is that until we really start to see, like sustained opens and closes above this region, it is still, it is still a toppy potential. And remember, this area, this 200 simple, and of course this guy right here is obviously well below our last high on the weekly. So a reversal on trend is still a little bit, out of the scope of things. And even looking at probabilities over here towards the end of we're still on the end of the week. A weekly close above, I think it'd have to be like 9,500. It's literally less than a 2.5% chance above this area right here. So probably not going to happen this week. Potential to happen next week, maybe. We'll see what the probabilities look like at that point in time. But for right now, to wrap up my thoughts, or actually we can quickly look at Bitcoin. I'm curious how Bitcoin dominance is acting during this. Actually, I'm very curious. How are shitcoins doing? Oh no! Oh baby! I fucking love this. Okay. We come down and again, I'm not saying this to my own horn, but this is quite nice. We come down exactly to my targeted region, right below 69%. Boom, massive move off. I am phenomenally fucking bullish on this. Also going to get boo caked all left, right, and center. It's going to be like Pornhub.com on the fucking gangbang tab. But there ain't no hope for this bitch. Oh man, most alts going to be getting cream pied like crazy. I do think that medium term we probably pop back up to 71.5%, and longer term you're going to see this trend. This is really fucking bullish here, in my opinion. And alts are going to be getting absolutely boo caked, which is great. Right? Well, it's not great. I'm not rooting for like alts to fail, but it just again, this is one of the reasons why I don't do the live streams anymore with regards to Bitcoin. I can't talk about the same fucking downwards chart that's going to very likely continue downwards for Satoshis. Now, to be fair, most altcoins are actually probably going to rally versus the dollar here. They're just not going to rally as much as Bitcoin is going to rally against the dollar. So, still not terrible, but I'm curious what Cardano looks like right now. Did I delete Cardano? No, I didn't. Not Cardano. Oh, not a Cardano. Sorry, I just watched the Shitty Sushi and City Walk episode of South Park recently, and I always think of Cardano for whatever reason. I don't know why, man. Anyways, bad joke, stupid attempt at humor, whatever, man. Just relegate me in the comments, and I will respond by saying something along the lines of, "Hey, man, I'm just not that funny, and I'm just fucking trying over here, okay? Cut me a fucking break." Anyways, still a downwards chart. Holy shit, a downwards chart continues to get more down. Crazy, fucking crazy. Anyways. So yeah, Bitcoin down is quite bullish there. What else do we have? Don't really think there's anything else that I really want to talk about all that much. We talked about, we already spoke about gold. Do we get another attempt back up in here? I don't have a strong opinion about that, but I do have a strong opinion about us putting in a local high here. Probably comes back down and tests around like 1550, 1560-ish region. Pound yen, getting rejected by the 200 simple once again. Holy fucking moly. Same. Well, actually, this is a really good reaction, to be fair. You know what? This is kind of getting reaccumulated here. I'd keep an eye on this. A daily doodle close above this area right here, 143 spot 36 region. I'd look for another attempt back up to 146 if that does happen over time. This is actually getting reaccumulated here. So to be fair, I think I might be wrong about it coming further down to like 138 and a half longer term. But we'll monitor it. Of course, it's still long ways away. Dollar yen came down to our our lower target down around here, nicely bouncing up. I do think that it continues to bounce probably back up to like maybe 109, and then we'll decide from there. I do think that we probably get another rejection there. But if I am wrong, you'll know that I'm wrong, and you'll know that the dollar against the yen is very bullish if it can get back above about 108 spot 9 region. If it even trades back above there, even back above this region right here is going to look really, really good. That's going to start to look pretty damn bullish, and I'd look for an extension all the way up to 109.7 region. What else do we have? Euro dollar? What's euro dollar doing? Oh no, down. Dollar's too strong, man. Okay, so I'm going to be severely wrong about this, about this looking okay here. Well, very likely. It's not a done deal just yet, but if we trade below 111.2, this thing's coming back down. It's likely coming back down to like 110 region. So fair enough. What else do we have? Dollar index, Dixie, looking like it's regaining its footing. I want to see it on a daily. See what this looks like. Death cross looming. You know what? I'd wait for the death cross to happen. I don't want to make a comment on that just yet. Anyways, back on to Bitcoin. To wrap it up, lower term timeframes probably do get another swipe, another attempt in this blue box territory. Then after that, I'd probably be looking for a short term high to be put in, and potentially come all the way back down to about 81.50, and I'd be looking for a bounce there. Of course, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just sharing my stupid opinion over the internet, which you shouldn't even care about, because you should value your own opinion more than that. But fair enough. I do think that we put in a local high somewhere in this region here over the next, over the next few days, and then coming into next week, we'll probably have like a legitimate attempt to actually, break this area. So for now, that's going to do it. I might be on Twitch later. I'm not so sure just yet. It's already 11 my time, so it's a little bit later than I typically like. Maybe I'll take it off. Anyways, that's gonna do it for right now. As always, wish you the best, and the happiest of the happiest. So yeah, take care, and until next time.